The ancient prayers would usually have been the captain's responsibility, but he was missing. Last night he had charged alone into the darkness, and he had not returned. Instead, the prayers were led by a man kneeling alone before the guardsman. He was uncomfortably lean, his knuckles and fingers swollen, the tendons at his wrists and elbows tenting the skin, and his cheekbones jutting out beneath steady green eyes. His name was Roper. Often now, Roper the Daring to his face, sometimes Roper the Restless, or simply Old Mad Dog behind his back. And at that moment, the guardsmen were paying homage to the ruins that had once been their enemy's greatest settlement. Lundenster was beyond repair. The earth beneath it had charred. The fire that had stormed the previous night had been frightening, a billowing yellow mountain, hot enough to crack stone. From sunset to midnight, a trickle of rats loped clear of the doomed city, and when the gates finally collapsed into embers, a smog the colour of death tumbled from the gatehouse and poisoned the grass beyond. The city had stood more than 1,000 years. Many of its buildings were the remnants of a vast empire that had stretched over these lands in the days before Southerners spoke Saxon. It had been home, they said, to 500,000 people, more by far than existed in the entire Black Kingdom. It would never rise again, and Roper was responsible. He had marched 200 miles south, dragging 60,000 legionaries behind, with the monstrous ambition of subduing a nation. He had travelled a country of warrior giants, and bargained, flattered, and competed until they had agreed to join his quest. He had preserved the army from disease, and driven them on when hunger and thirst threatened to overwhelm them. He had been the first of the Anakim over the formidable breach and into the city behind, and it had been he who had fought through the defences and opened up a path for his men to sack the city. Mighty One, grant us love in what life to us remains. Grant awareness that this soon will end. Grant swift passage from this world to the other. Keep us thy agents until we walk with thee. Roper had become used to being alone. So used to it that when the prayers finished and the others stood and stretched, he stayed kneeling, head bowed in final prayer. Your will is not mocked, Mighty One. May your angels be after Victor the Quick. Hasten our path to his footprints. Hold him until we're on his heels, then show him your wrath through our hands. He carried on for some while, and when finally his prayers were finished and he stood, a hand landed immediately on his shoulder. My lord. Roper turned, finding a black-haired man in early middle age, a cloak of rippling bronze feathers over his shoulders. Tekoa, any sign? Tekoa looked pale, his eyes only half focused on Roper. Nothing. He's vanished. What? No sightings? Is there no sign of a trail? Some sightings, none convincing. No trail. I've got the Skiratai searching out past the perimeter. Perhaps with the light? He shrugged. You need to scour the west. He'll probably try and join the Southerners. How much ground are the Rangers covering? He'll use the forests as cover. You focused there? Tekoa looked flatly at Roper, who nodded. Of course you have. There was a pause before Roper turned away slightly. Victor, he murmured, shaking his head. What would you do, Tekoa, when we catch him?